My name is Helen Hignite, and I do alterations as a part-time business for myself, primarily to make the Social Security check expand a little bit more and things like that. So out of necessity, I've sewed all my life, and I like sewing, and I just have a business by word of mouth, and it keeps me busy enough. I started sewing when I was about 6 years old. Mom, we lived on the farm, and we were farmers in Iowa, and money wasn't plentiful, but we had a good life. But I wanted to learn how to sew because Mother sewed for me. She sewed for me a lot, and so I wanted to learn how to sew. So she says, well, yes, I could learn how to sew. So she started me out. She gave me a flour sack. We used to buy flour and sugar, you know, in the big 100-pound bag. That was the beginning experience of my sewing, and I'll never forget that. And then when I got in high school, I used to help on the farm a lot, but Dad said no, he had enough sons that work. He says, if you want to go get a job, Helen, he said, you can go get a job. So I went to the big city, which was Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I went to a clothing store there. It was Armstrong's, and I went to their alterations department and asked them if they needed somebody to work in alterations, and they said yes. And so I got a job. I felt really proud of the fact that I could get a job. Then I went to college, and I took up, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I went to college, but I thought, well, maybe I'll take up home ec. I graduated with a dietitian's degree, and I worked in hospitals then for about 7 years. And that was good, that was fine and dandy, but I still always did a lot of sewing for myself, and I stuck with it. Then after my husband, we was married 42 years, and he passed away, and then I was left alone, and I just had my Social Security and a little bit of pension, and I wanted to stay here in Arkansas, and so I thought, well, I got to do something else. And so I thought, well, I can go back to my sewing. So I had my three sewing machines, one sewing machine and 2 sergers. And I went to the dry cleaners in the neighborhood, and I asked if they needed somebody to do alterations, and she says yes. And I started doing alterations for them. And I enjoyed it. It kept me busy. From there, then I started my own little business. I got cards or business cards, and I start passing them out. This is my lifestyle. Now, I don't classify this as a job, but I can stay home. What better job is it? I can stay home. I can work when I want. I don't have to be any place at any special time or anything. All I do is have to answer the doorbell when it rings, or the phone when it rings, and I've got it made. David, this is one of my customers. She's a very, very good customer. She brought a pair of pants here. She wanted shortened, so I shortened them. And then, so the cuffs that I took, or what I cut off the bottom, she wanted pockets put on. So I made her some pockets for her side pockets, and so she's just ready to go.
I am ready to go. A place for my phone and everything.
Yeah, yes.
Great.
And she comes by quite often, so she's a good customer.
Whenever I buy something new, I'm by.
Yeah, I got a lot of ladies that work. They work out in the community, and they buy a new dress, and they have to have it shortened or something of that nature. I have quite a few neighbors like that. I've got quite a few ladies that come and they bring their pants and they want them shortened. I had one man bring in 35 pairs of dress slacks, and he was a big man, but he had lost weight, and he brought them all in at one time. And he plopped them down on my table, and he said, Mrs. Hignite, he says, I need the waistbands taken in. He could have brought them maybe 4 or 5 at a time. It would have been so bad. But no, he brought all 35 pair of pants, and he dropped them off. And I got them done within a reasonable time. But that was probably my most challenging thing.
I had several pair of dress slacks that I needed to have altered. So I was looking in Clarksville to find someone who could do that, and I found a lady by the name of Miss Helen Hignite. So I took all the slacks to her, and she did a great job on the alterations. She has a passion for sewing. She has an amazing talent.
I would put my work up against anyone's or any manufacturer too. I think I'm that good. And they look that great.